Good evening. I have given my details. I am Kumar Menon. In the details given below this YouTube version, so you will get all the details there. What I would like to present today is that so many reforms, changes, and regulations have been introduced in 2024 by the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. That is mainly for the protection of policy holders, their interests, operational sites, and allied matters. These regulations introduced in 2024, the first was in March, then subsequently in May, and later some implementations happened by September. So all these have been brought together. So these are all helpful for the policy holder. That is why, but this subject is a bit too vast. The reforms are so many. My first thought was to make it a voice message and give a detailed speech on the same. But the issue is that when this is transmitted through WhatsApp, WhatsApp can carry only about 112 MB of data. That means about 3 to 4 minutes of recording time is only allowed there. So that was found unsuitable. That's why I had to rely on YouTube. That's all right, because this takes some time. All the aspects and all the regulations may not interest everybody, but I have tried to include details that will be useful to senior citizens, to group policy holders, and also to individuals. Some of the regulations are effective from 1st of April 2024. The main intention of the regulations brought in are to help the policy holders. That is one aspect. The second aspect is to give guidelines to streamline the distribution channels, say like the insurance company, regulatory authority, of course, thereafter the TPA, the hospitals, and all the distribution channels. And the third is emphasis given on grievance redressal. As bankrupt, we all know, we have gone through since 2015, the Indian Banks Association group insurance policy was introduced, and we are all familiar with most of the details for almost 10 years now. So that knowledge and that practical knowledge especially will be very helpful to all. I'll cover all the topics. Normally they say in a speech not more than 3 or 4 points should be included, because if so many points are included, then naturally people will start sleeping. And I don't expect this discourse is going to be a bit long, I'm afraid. But at least if you would, even if you don't go through the visuals, you can at least hear what is being said and take a nap in between also. So that is the intention. See, we have many of us have got reimbursements from hospitals, have applied for reimbursement for our hospitalization. And in many a time, the third-party authority, TPA, sends us reminders saying that you have not produced this document, you have not produced that document, we require another confirmation from the hospital, and like that, queries will go on. Now the instruction is very favorable for us that documents should not be called for piecemeal, one by one. They call for one document. When that is given, they call for another document. That will, if not immediately, that will go. It is on the way out. That's a good thing. Uh, so, and also, and also, the policy should be very clear in its wordings. They should not conceal exclusions. See, if you go through a policy, you'll find many exclusions there, separately mentioned. That is the rule. All the exclusions should be mentioned in detail and not on our inquiry. They should reveal it firsthand itself. Then again, another good thing that is effective from 30th of September 2024, recent, that is after, just before our new IBA policy was introduced, another master circular was issued by IRDAI, and that was introduced to make sure that the policy holder is given the highest standard of care and service. Good to hear. There should be transparency in all matters related to insurance, another good thing. And it should cover all systems of medicine, including allopathy, AYUSH, AYUSH related Siddha, homeopathy, all those branches of Indian medicine. But in the Indian Banks Association policy for bank retirees, I may now and then stress on that. It gives cover for the naturopathy treatment, whereas in most policies and some super top policies that the bank retirees have introduced, there naturopathy treatment is not covered. That is because naturopathy doesn't come under AYUSH treatments. But luckily for us, the IBA policy covers naturopathy also. That's a good thing. And also, I will tell you about that later. This there are, two types of claim to get claims done. There are two ways. One is to go in for cashless claims, which is easier, and the other is for reimbursement methods. But the main thing is that the government wants all health insurance hospitals, health hospitals and care providers to be covered. They should not include only very big and super specialty hospitals, but even moderate nursing homes and village level hospitals, licensed hospitals, should be able to give cover, and that too cashless cover. And that is what is required. That's a good thing. So the cover intended is comprehensive, and all advanced treatments should be covered. That is, modern treatments should be covered by the policy. Some policies do restrict their cover to say 50% of modern treatment methods. They pay only 50% of the sum insured for modern treatments. Many such policies are there, but at the same time, modern treatments cannot be fully excluded. That is the main thing. And by modern treatment, what is meant is, one is uterine artery embolization, otherwise called HIFVO. That is mainly used for treatment of uterine fibroids, bleeding, and such other ailments. That is a compulsory inclusion. Then, high intensity focused ultrasound, that method, that is also a modern method, high intensity focused ultrasound treatment. It is used to destroy tissue, in many cases cancerous tissue, and some other treatment methods are also there. Then balloon sinuplasty. Balloon sinuplasty is another modern method of treatment. That is, it is mainly used for treatment of sinusitis, recurring sinusitis. Then comes deep brain stimulation, DBS. That's a surgical procedure using electrical signals to treat neuro conditions. In some cases now it is being used for treatment of Parkinson's disease and such other neuro disorders. Oral chemotherapy is another introduction. It was earlier there, but insurance companies earlier refused to give oral chemotherapy, that reimbursement for that. But now that is compulsorily included. And also immunotherapy. Immunotherapy means cancer treatment using body's immune system to fight the cancer, using the body to fight the cancer. And that too, and another treatment similar is monoclonal antibody injection. That is also mainly for cancer. These two, this immunotherapy and monoclonal antibody injection, these treatments were refused during the COVID period. That was the time many people went in for this treatment, and most of the insurance companies used to reject. And after finally, IRDAI had to intervene to see that it is covered. Intravitreal injection, that is an injection given to the eye to inject medicine to improve vision. That is covered. All these treatments are covered in our IBA retirees policy. Then robotic surgery, that is by robotic surgery in India, it may be new, maybe 2-3 years back it was introduced, but not in all hospitals, only mainly in super specialty and quaternary care hospitals. We need not be afraid. We are not being, the surgery is not being done by a robot. It is controlled by a human, and the doctor's precision movements are passed on to the robot, who makes it much more accurate. So we need not fear anything. It is not done by a robot, it is done by the surgeon. That is, day by day, that kind of treatment is increasing. Then another thing that was not covered earlier was stereostatic radio surgery. Stereostatic radio surgery. That is a precise radiation therapy for cancer, brain, spine treatment, epilepsy, malformation, and other such related treatments. That is also becoming widely used, and luckily that is also covered. Another, and almost I think it is a final modern procedure that is being mentioned. No, it is about 2-3 more are there. Okay, bronchial thermoplasty, that uses heat waves to treat asthma for removal of excess muscle, so that the person can breathe much more freely. Then another thing all senior citizens, most of them have, is prostrate related issues. For that, the latest development is green laser treatment, prostrate green laser treatment. That is also used to remove excess tissue in that area. It's a bit expensive, but that is also covered by insurance. Then IONM. IONM means intraoperative neuromonitoring. That is actually used during surgery to monitor the nervous system during surgery. So that is a critical treatment, and it is almost a compulsory monitoring that is required during any major surgery. Stem cell therapy, not very common in India, is to, I cannot say India because I am not very sure about, maybe stem cell therapy is being used in major hospitals like Nanavati, maybe Apollo, and they may be having that facility that is used to replace cells damaged during chemotherapy. So, and finally, any other treatment using advanced technology has to be compulsorily covered. That's good news for us all. Earlier, during the early years, there were restrictions placed on these kinds of treatments. And suppose, this is just a supposition, that if we apply for 1 lakh, we may get around 50,000 or 40,000, not more than that. But that situation is quickly changing. When considering insurance issue of insurance policy, there are certain guidelines, certain acts to be kept in mind. A policy has to be issued taking into consideration some of the acts, about 5 acts, which I will mention briefly. That is, it should cover the rules and regulations of Mental Health Care Act 2017. 1. Second, Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. That has to be kept in mind. Surrogacy Regulation Act 2021. Surrogacy, that is, another person bearing the children or the mother. And then the 4th one is Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act 2019. These have to be taken very seriously, and it should be seen to that the insurance regulations cover all persons. Then last, HIV and AIDS Prevention and Control Act 2017. Even now, some policies continue to not to insure AIDS patients, but there are policies which insure AIDS persons also. Maybe it will be expensive. This is for that. Then now another rule that has come into existence is that, as I told earlier briefly, there is a customer information sheet should be given to each insured. Customer information sheet should cover any exclusions, if any, sublimits introduced for any kind of treatment. If limits are introduced, it should be clearly mentioned. If it is not mentioned, it means that sublimits are not in existence. And the claim procedure should be very lucid, should be very clear, so that everyone can understand what is to be done to claim insurance. Another thing that is not relevant to group insurance policies, but I will just mention and pass on, that is a free look-in period. If a person is issued a policy, he should be given 1 month's time to look into the details of the policy and to decide whether to continue the policy or not to continue the policy. Same way for individuals. It is not strictly for individuals. It can be used to, it can be applied for group policies also. That is, a cancellation policy should be mentioned. A person should be able to cancel the policy if he doesn't want it within 7 days. Within 7 days, he should give a written notice or intimation electronically that he doesn't want the policy, and then the premium will be refunded. Another good thing, nomination is now compulsory. That will take care of many hassles. So, and also the nomination, the chance to change the nomination and to make it available for another person is also given. If you want to change the nominee later, you can definitely, you have a right to get it done. Another thing, very important thing, is that for any policy, 30 days grace period for payment of premium should be given. That is a matter that concerns us all. Recently, unlike yesteryears, till now, the Indian Banks Association has not given in writing an extension period of another 30 days so that the policy will start so that latecomers can join the policy. I don't know why it has not been done, despite so many interventions by retiree associations, by AIBA chief and others. But practically the good news, I cannot say it's an order or it will be introduced in all banks. But just as a test case, in our bank, there were some people who were in foreign countries and who were not well, and many other reasons, age-related reasons, they could not apply in time. And the period was over. I mean, they should have applied before 28th of October. When they contacted me, whatever be, I told them, you apply with a hard copy and you give them an instruction to debit your account. You don't keep away from applying. You at least apply and try to see that you are included. Luckily, it need not be the case in all banks. Those persons were included just 2-3 days back. That is, this is November, around November 19th, 20th. Though late, they were included and they were given the chance to enter the policy. This gives them several other rights also, because there is a regulatory authority instruction that cover should be given during 30 days grace period. Everyone has the right and time should be given for them to apply. But unfortunately, that decision has not come till now from the bank sources as an order. You know, even at this late hour, we hope it will be introduced. And also another thing, renewal of health insurance policy should not be denied. Just because you have made numerous claims it cannot be denied to you. There is no way to deny issue of health insurance policy based on your claim history. Another clause that applies to individual policy holders is migration is allowed on indemnity policies. Migration is allowed on indemnity policies with certain rules to be observed. That is, if the person wants to change the insurance company and to go to another insurance company, he should be allowed to do so. But some portability issues should be addressed, and that should be remedied. But this is not applicable to group policies. The thing is, another good thing that also is mainly for individual policy holders. If suppose a person has taken cover for 5 years already, he has been insured already for 5 years of continuous coverage, and then on the 6th year, he should not be denied any cover, saying that he has not disclosed some illnesses he had, and there has been some misrepresentation later, maybe 3rd year, 4th year. Such denial will not be allowed once the 5-year period is over. Only if fraud is proved, he can be denied. But non-disclosure and misrepresentation, these are not reasons to reject continuation, say, on the 6th year. Then, of course, for again individual policies, if they have not made any claim, they can be given no claim bonus, or another form is to slightly increase the coverage by 5% or 10%. There is no restriction on that, but that will not apply for group policies. Even if you are a group policy holder for say 10, 15 years, whether even if you are not claimed even a single hospitalization, you will not be getting any bonus. You will be getting the premium. You will have to pay the premium that is offered to the group. Another very effective and urgently needed reform has been introduced. That is, for cashless hospitalization, if you are admitted, the hospital, the insurance company, and the TPA, all of them included, should give approval for the cashless hospitalization within 1 hour. They should not take more than 1 hour to release the approval. And this has been introduced since 30th of July 2024. That means it is already in existence. Some of our retiree friends are very tolerant. They will apply for cashless, then forget about it. The hospital also, they do not follow up because of age and illness, maybe. But then on the day of the discharge, the hospital says there is no reply from the insurance company. Such things will not happen, should not be allowed to happen, because those who know about these things should intervene and see that the patient gets the cashless approval within 1 hour. The same way, discharge. The discharge once, suppose the day is Saturday, if you are to be discharged on the Saturday, it doesn't matter whichever day it be. Suppose the hospital sends all the requests compiled in a compiled form to the insurance company. Final bill, once it is sent, the maximum time the TPA can take to process the same is 3 hours. They should process the same within 3 hours and intimate the sanctioned amount to the hospital. See, recently there have been issues like that. The person was discharged on Saturday. The hospital sent the bills on. By 4 p.m. they sent the bills. No reply. Saturday, Sunday, no reply. Monday, even at about 1 p.m., no reply. So when this was looked into, immediately maybe the TPA had some issue with their software. That could be one of the reasons. That's what they stated. But then I had to tell them, see, this patient has been unnecessarily hospitalized. He should have gone home on Saturday, but he could not go home on Saturday. He could not go home on Sunday. He could, even Monday, it is uncertain. So I told them, you will have to bear the expenses of the room rent and the treatments being done there. I mean, post-hospitalization treatments. So they had to agree because they said, we'll pay the extra days room rent. Tell the patient to send the room rent bill also along with the reimbursement papers. See, many things in the beginning, we may have to intervene and get. If we keep quiet, they will be silent about it. Otherwise, they'll pay up because as per rules, they are supposed to observe the TAT time, and day by day, the awareness is growing among the population, and also retiree organizations should be very vigilant to see that justice is done to their members. They should intervene. Each retiree organization should intervene. There should be people who know about how to intervene, not to quarrel, because quarreling is not a method to get a grievance redressed. Once you start fighting, the whole thing goes negative, and it'll be very difficult to correct that situation. Without hurting anybody, we can get things done because we know we have knowledge. That is our greatest strength. And with that, that is sufficient, more than sufficient, to get things done in India. If expressed confidence, I mean, you have to have confidence in yourself and in your ability to get things corrected. If that is there, these things can be done by the children of the patient also. The youngsters know they can faster to intervene, and these things can be done even without any third party involvement. Another thing, I know I am going into many things, but these are all revolutionary changes that have been introduced this year. So naturally, I have to explain them also. On death, immediately the hospital should process the claim and settle the claim. They should not delay. On death, immediately they should process the claim, and also they should not withhold the body. They should not wait for the settlement to be completed to release the body. The body of the dead person should be released to the family immediately. Please keep this in mind. Earlier, we all had so many issues. Hospital keeping the body there, not releasing till payment is finalized, and such harassment methods, which is history now. It should not be allowed to be repeated anywhere. Another thing, very important thing, no claim shall be repudiated. That means rejected without approval of the product management committee. If any claim is rejected, may ensure that it has the vetting of product management committee of the organization or whatever it be, of the insurance body. Or there is another alternative, a 3-member claims review committee. 3-member claims review committee. It is also called CRC. Normally, in banks and other institutions, one will be the HR department person of the bank. The other will be the insurance authority person, and the third will be the TPA. These 3 members should form a committee, and the committee should agree on the repudiation. They should not reject without the committee repudiation in writing. And in case it is repudiated, the reasons for repudiation should be conveyed in writing, mentioning the reasons why it is not sanctioned. That means everything has to be made transparent. That is the main thing. Earlier, as I told you, third-party authority, TPS, in reimbursement cases, once we send the papers, after 1 or 2 weeks, they will say, give us this document from the hospital saying that we want another certificate, we want some other documents and other like that. Things will little drag on. And all these requests will not come in one go. They will say you submit this paper. Once you submit that, they will say you submit some other paper. Now, the instruction is that if the TPA wants any clarification, they should not disturb the insured person. They should collect it from the hospital themselves. It's a very good thing. The policy holder need not each and every time run to the hospital to get things done. If the TPA wants any clarification, they should get it direct from the hospital. See, suppose there are persons who have taken 2-3 policies. He has the right to choose. Suppose he has taken IBA policy. He might have taken some other policies also. The insured person has the right to choose the policy which he requires. That is, if he chooses a particular policy, that policy becomes the primary policy. Later, if the primary policy is exhausted, he can make use of the other policies. But then the primary policy insurance company should clarify all the clarifications required by the other insurance company so that they can take over smoothly. And it is the duty of the primary insurer to ensure that all required papers saying that the limit is over and things like that, certain certifications are required. They should, between themselves, arrange to transmit the information. So, and the primary insured can make use of the other policies also. Any number of policies. There is no restriction on the number of policies a person can hold. Every time I say another, these are all involved. I mean, they are separate issues, but then now the stress is very much on a robust grievance redressal system. Senior citizens, people like ourselves, should be given extra care. Their grievances should be redressed without any delay. Their hospitalization should be attended to fast, quickly, and without disturbing the senior citizen. And this is a good thing, because otherwise we will have to run from post to pillar to get justice done. You know, all the TPAs have senior citizen helplines. Please do make use of those helplines, and it's your right to demand better service. Another very good policy, actually, it was introduced in 2017. But during our, even we usually did not enforce it because maybe because of lack of knowledge, because we get a favorable award from the insurance ombudsman. Once we obtain a favorable award from the insurance ombudsman, the award should be implemented within 30 days. If the award is given by within 30 days, the insured should get the amount that released by the award within 30 days. If the insurance company doesn't pay up, for each day of delay, they have to pay 5,000 rupees each. 1 day delay means 5,000 rupees. If they delay it by 2 days, 10,000 rupees. It goes on like that. But henceforth, all our retiree organizations should take pains to see that if you get a favorable award for your member, please follow up and see that it is settled within 30 days. Otherwise, from 2017 onwards, it is in force, but practically rarely implemented. You should again approach the ombudsman and get an award for the penalty to be paid to the member at this rate. Another thing that is happening now is the importance being given to AYUSH treatments. Well and good, there is nothing wrong with that. AYUSH covers everything. It covers allopathy, it covers Ayurveda, homeopathy, except naturopathy, it covers all of the fields. But it is ultimately the right of the insured to choose the treatment of his choice. He cannot be forced to go to a AYUSH hospital. Well and good, if it is if it's done. The thing is, AYUSH treatments are comparative. They have a slab system for rates, and comparatively, those AYUSH hospitals rates will be lower. So the insurance company will be interested in getting the insured treated there so that the cost will be less. But this cannot be enforced because it is the ultimate right of the insured to choose the hospital he requires. He should not be directed to any particular hospital. We have recently come across some such objections in our bank IBA policy also, saying that when treatment is done in some other Ayurvedic hospitals, they reduce the amount drastically. Even recently it has happened. And when questioned on that, their reply is, we are giving only AYUSH rates. That is not a correct approach. That should be countered. You should escalate such matters because that is there is no such no TPA. TPA is saying that now they're denying and they're drastically reducing the reimbursement amount, especially in homeopathy, allopathy, and some such other treatments, saying that we are going by the AYUSH rates, and so we will only give up to that amount. See, there is no such thing. Such sublimits and things like that, limits should not be placed on treatment. The treatment is done at a hospital, which is an accredited hospital. It has all the licenses required, maybe NABH accreditation, Central Government Clinical Act permission, Kerala government permission, and even there, they are trying to standardize the rates. It is true that is in CGHS scheme, it is in the central government scheme, Every year they publish rates for certain procedures. So not certain, almost all procedures. That rate sheet itself will be about 44 pages. There, the duration for a particular ailment is given, and the CGHS rate is also given for any particular procedure, be it Ayurvedic or be it allopathic. So these are maybe that's a central government rates. It is not applicable to bank employee retirees. There they go by that that rate sheet. See, all these issues will be sorted out, and most of the paperwork will cease to exist once the National Health Claims Exchange, it is called NHCX, National Health Claims Exchange, that becomes fully functional. This National Health Claims Exchange is already set up. About what I learned is that only about 30 hospitals are empaneled in that, and claims settlement is fully digital. There is no paperwork involved. Everything is settled through the exchange, and the exchange has information, has a big database comprising all the insured. The idea, the intention of IRDAI is to make all claim settlements cashless and through National Health Claim Exchange shortly. But practically, anything introduced here, it will take time. The hospitals have to agree, will have to cooperate. Insurance company has to cooperate. There is a big level of, there's a big gap in the computerization, software issues. All those things have to be settled, but it has started functioning, and many claims are being settled digitally without any paperwork. That is good. The good news for those who go in for reimbursement, because the entire process and paperwork is obviated. It's not required. Another thing which is long overdue is that performance of the TPA should be closely monitored. It is being done now. Remuneration charges paid to TPA henceforth. Remuneration charges paid by the insurance company to the TPA. It used to be earlier, I'm not sure about the rates now. It used to be 5.5% or something of the claim amount. That should be based on customer feedback. If I am hospitalized, once I am discharged, a feedback should be taken by the TPA, and that feedback should be a good feedback. Not that the treatment, TPA performance was totally, if the TPA performance was totally unsatisfactory, claim settlement was unsatisfactory, amount sanctioned was unsatisfactory, definitely the TPA will not get a good rating from the customer. The remuneration paid to the TPA will depend in future on the rating given by each insured. That is a control measure so that it is ensured that the patient gets a good treatment from the TPA and further tightens the time schedule. And also, another small thing by product is that the remuneration paid to TPA should not depend on the incurred claim ratio. We call it IZR. The claim should not be dependent on the incurred claim ratio. Incurred claim ratio, I suppose I'll just go through this thing, dictionary. It depends. Suppose normally for senior citizens, it will be very high. Incurred claim ratio will be on the very high side. It may be even above 100%, more 100, 200%. That is, it should the remuneration payable should not be based on the incurred claim ratio. Is another stipulation that has been introduced recently. Another good news for senior citizens is that doesn't apply to group policies like ours, like Indian Banks Association policies. Earlier, there was a restriction that if a senior citizen is above 65, he cannot be insured. That restriction has been done away with. Even if you are 70, if you are 90, if you are 100, if you request for insurance, it should be given to you. Just because you are over 70, over 65, it should not be denied to you. Till last year, that was being done. After 65, everywhere, wherever I look, I see in the policy, if you're above 65, you cannot join this policy or that policy. That has been done away with. See, in all fronts in the insurance sector, rapid developments are going on, and it is compulsory. It is a very good sign, and we only hope we have the necessary knowledge and we take the pains to see that these are implemented. If not implemented by other agencies, we should stress and enforce, get it enforced by taking some strain. Another change, waiting period for pre-existing disease holders. It used to be earlier 4 years. That is, they will not be covered for those pre-existing diseases. That has been reduced from 4 years to 3 years. And there used to be a minimum waiting period for specific diseases. Say like joint replacement. That also has been reduced from 4 years to 3 years. Suppose you had a joint replacement this year. Earlier, they used next year if you claim for the same thing, they never used to give, saying that it has been already done. And like that, lame excuses were passed on. Many countered it, many got it done. That is another thing. But many were satisfied with the reply and did not pursue the matter further. So that also has been reduced. And also, health insurance policy should not be refused to people just because they have some critical illness. They may be having heart issues, cancer issues, AIDS, HIV. They may be having all those things or maybe having some of those things. But even those people, policies should be offered to such persons also. They should not be isolated and they should not be taken away from the mainstream. It is part of the government agenda to include all and to treat all equally. Another good news is that earlier, AYUSH treatments sublimits were fixed. That is, if the treatment is cost has been incurred cost is say 1,000 rupees, they used to fix sublimits and say that only 5,000 is payable. Such things cannot be done henceforth. That's a common issue. It will come up even now. It will keep on coming up. Please intervene in such cases and ensure that the TPA doesn't misguide you, saying that sublimits have been fixed on AYUSH treatment and they should not be allowed to allow to make payments, limiting the amount. And another, I think I have been keeping on repeating another because it is another. Each case is another case. Tailor-made plans. I mean, tailor-made plans. Our Indian Banks Retiree Association policy is a tailor-made policy for senior bank. I mean, for all bank retirees. Like that, each specialized group. Senior citizens is one group, children another group, students another group. Like that, specialized, tailor-made group policies should be prepared for all groups of persons. As I mentioned earlier, it is strictly being enforced, and senior citizens should make use of this facility. The dedicated support channel for senior citizens should be used to the maximum. Always contact senior citizens help desk for issues so that you can get your grievances redressed quicker. It is equally applicable to claims. While you are in hospital also, you can ask for senior citizens helpline through senior citizens helpline. And even for grievance redressal, you should approach them also, because senior citizens get should demand better service with less hassle. What I would like to say is that retiree organizations should demand that senior citizens, that is retirees, mainly comprising retirees, maybe some VRS people will be there, but see, in each bank, in the HR department generally, there are persons from the TPA who sit there, 3-4 persons, and work. They look after the insurance requirements of the employees. Okay, well and good. That's a good thing. They also look after, they are also supposed to look after the treatment requirements and the claims of retirees, placing special emphasis and speed so that retiree claims are handled first and foremost. This, I think, most of the retiree organizations are not at present implementing it. You should demand from the bank that the retiree policies should be handled at the earliest without any delay, because it all pertains to claims of senior citizens and preference should be given to them. Please ensure, follow up, raise this point, get it implemented in your bank, and take maximum strain to see that it is being implemented. It is our right to get preferential treatment. The regulations allow it. Only thing is, it is not being practiced now. It may be, maybe some banks may be doing it, but I don't think generally any preferential treatment is given. What happens actually is that many retirees send their policies to the bank, and that remains there. They look after the policies of the employees first. Later, if they get their time, they may either bundle it up and send it to the claim reimbursement center. Just like a post office, it is functioning. That should not be the case. It's an area where retiree organizations have to be vigilant and try to get it enforced. Now, I'm coming to the final portion. It has been a long drawn out thing, maybe mostly, maybe boring to many people also, but still all the matters that are relevant now in 2024 and also 2025 have to be explained, and that's why I have taken this much I have mentioned all these points. Another very good thing is that the trend now is to effect cashless hospitalization in all hospitals in India. What I learned about it is that in northeastern states, it is being implemented very well. And maybe in other places, there is some delay. Any hospital, whatever it be its size or makeup, they should implement cashless hospitalization. But here, there is a rider. Such a regulation is there. But suppose the hospital is not willing. Some small nursing homes, hospitals may not be prepared to extend cashless on account of many reasons. They may say it will take about 1 month to get the money from the insurance company. Till then, we cannot afford to wait. Others will say our infrastructure doesn't permit it. This is a small hospital. Adequate computerization is not there. Specialist doctors are not there. Other facilities are not there. But still, even if all these are lacking, what I would like to say to you is that about this implementation, if you are going to a small hospital and they are not prepared to give cashless treatment, please don't go away with a no from the counter. Please meet higher authorities. Ask them why you cannot extend. They have only to send the request to the concerned TPA's office, but it takes 3 days to get approval because the TPA should get some information from the hospital about the facilities they offer. In such cases, what is happening now is that it will take 3 days to get the TPA should be given 3 days time to investigate the claim and to make the cashless payment. So if it's for a shorter duration, maybe time may not permit and you will have to go the reimbursement way. But otherwise, if you have time, if the hospital management is willing, there is nothing standing between that hospital and the insurance company in extending cashless hospitalization. Clear instructions are given in the proposal on how to go about getting cashless from a non-network hospital. So I'm not repeating that procedure again. It is given in all the messages. Coming to the conclusion, I should not go away without telling you about the very good news about the implementation of Ayushman Bharat PMJAY scheme to those 70 and above. It's a very big scheme and a very much necessary scheme in India, because in India, maybe we may be first and second and top in many other fields, but from the international angle, if you look, care for senior citizens, that too above 70, I'm telling specifically, the performance is dismal. I said dismal. The treatment facilities given, the support given by the government to those 70 and above is not at all satisfactory. And maybe we are about, I'm not sure about the exact position now. We are about ranking 130 below. That's a very dismal position. Maybe the government wants to improve that. That's why they are going in to this Ayushman Bharat scheme in a very big way. Okay. I'm not going into the details because at present, it is possible to get the Ayushman card, but whether it is possible to get the treatment, I'm not sure. Especially in Kerala, it has now, again, northeastern states are far ahead of us. They have started giving, they have started implementing Ayushman Bharat scheme for those above 70. But here, the situation is yet to stabilize. The list of hospitals have to come. At present, we just get the card. Anyhow, get the card, go to an Aadhaar Kendra. If you go with your Aadhaar and mobile, you will get the PM JAY Ayushman Bharat card. Keep it with you at present, at least. That's all I can say, because you'll have to wait for some more time for the full implementation. But at least let us hope we'll live till that age, and or maybe within 1 or 2 years it'll be implemented. Anyway, it's a good beginning. With that, permit me to conclude. Thank you for listening to this very long recording. I hope you get some sense out of it and some information. At least you can listen to the voice message and go to sleep and hear it by part by part, because at a stretch it may not be possible to hear all these instructions. With that hope, permit me to conclude. Thank you for listening, and see you. Thank you.